welcome to BMX News, a weekly live BMX news show that we do at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. With that being said, there are a bunch of people in the chat right now. We got Travis S. in here. Don't see Travis K today. Ken Nichols is in here. Kevin Jackson, Sean Chambers. Who else is in here? Mike Z Gamer. What's up, man? Who else? We've got, actually, that's it. Everybody's just chatting a lot. So, with that being said, let's get on into the news. First big thing that I wanted to talk about today is that the UCI has canceled the remaining 2 stops for BMX Freestyle of the 2023 season. So, they canceled one in Qatar and Saudi Arabia from November and December, and then there's only one more stop that's in China before I think the Olympics riders are determined and set. So it kind of makes it a big deal for the riders who could potentially be in the Olympics if they do well enough in countries as well. It's kind of an interesting shakeup in things, and I know some people care about that. So let's take a look. The current standings, this is on the Bloom, so this is focused on the ladies' side, but the current standings put the US ahead of China by only 710 points, and then Germany is way behind. So the race to see who gets 2 women riders in the Olympics is pretty close at this point. It's kind of interesting. So we regret to announce that the last 2 rounds of the 2023 UCI BMX Freestyle World Cup, scheduled to be held in Qatar in November and December, Saudi Arabia, have been canceled. 4th and final round of the UCI BMX World Cup will be in China in October. Yeah. So there's only one more of 2023. And it's kind of interesting. Okay, so this is where it matters. This Chinese round will provide riders with a chance to earn points towards the UCI BMX Freestyle Park Nation ranking, which determines how many athletes from each country will be able to participate in next year's Olympic Qualifier Series. So there's a series apparently, which is kind of interesting as well. For the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, information about this can be found at this link. You can find that by going to the first link in the description down below. And the calendar for the 2024 UCI World Cup Park and Flatland, including new stopovers, will be announced in the coming months. So if you want to learn more about that, go to here. What's up, Zenki? And then there's also a link right under that, which takes you to the rankings for the men and the women elites to find more information about this if you care to follow it. After that, for the more core BMX of you, the yearly NORA Cup nominees are announced in videos, at least most of them. There's still some coming. We've got Street, Trails, Transition, and Women's Rider who have been announced so far as the nominees go. Starting with Street, you have, and I haven't looked at these yet, so I'm going to make predictions as we go. Jordan Godwin, Felix Prangenberg, Dakota Roche, Brock Rayford, and Brett Silva. I think that Felix will probably take it again because of how much of a tear that he has been on, but I would not be surprised to see Brock Rayford win it. And if there was going to be the underdog coming on top, it'd be Brett Silva. I'm saying Felix. If it's not Felix, it's Brock. And the underdog for the win would be Brett Silva, and that would be so sick. I mean, Felix won too much last year. He did, but he's still on the same tear that he's been on since last year, and he's doing amazing. So I wouldn't be surprised. I can't talk about NORA Cup without talking about the fact that this is essentially a popularity contest with the riders, but I can't help but feel like riders more riders than not would take this pretty seriously and try and do a good job with their votes instead of just voting for their friends. Looking forward to the Battle of Hastings. Yeah, this is NORA Cup's going down to the Battle of Hastings. September 10th is when NORA Cup is happening at the White Rock Theater in Hastings. Doors open at 8, show starts at 9. So, for Transition Rider of the Year, we have Dennis Anderson, Jason Watts, Josh Dove, Kevin Peraza, and Pat Casey. So, while I think that it would not be a surprise at all if Dennis Anderson or Josh Dove or Kevin Peraza or Jason Watts won this, I also would not even be remotely surprised if Pat Casey won. And that's why I'm going to pick Pat Casey for the win, because I could see every single person who voted voting for Pat Casey. He's a transition rider of the century. He just rides the way no one else does or can. So I'm going to say Pat Casey. Rest in peace, Pat Casey. Trail Rider of the Year nominees. We have Bob Stringer, Dan Broadfield, Nathan Hallahan, Nathan Saunders, and Tyson Jones Penny. So what's crazy about Trail Rider of the Year is that I feel like the people who nominate the Trail Riders of the Year are the trail riders. So there's people on this list that I've never even heard of. Bob Stringer and Dan Broadfield. I haven't heard of them before, but I've got to give it to Nathan Hallahan. I just want to see Nate Hallahan win a NORA Cup. How sick would that be? Purely out of the want to see it happen, I pick Nathan Hallahan. Next, Women's Rider of the Year nominees. Angie Marino, Emma Finnegan, Hannah Roberts, Kim Lee Mueller, and Paris Venegas. It's got to be Paris. Honestly, Paris should be on the list for Street Rider of the Year, just based on that last video that they put out. Because she single-handedly pushed women's BMX street further more than probably anyone pushed men's BMX street or BMX in general forward in this last year. Just with that last video part alone. I would say Paris. If not Paris, I mean, Kim came out, started riding for Colony recently, and just is amazing. Emma Finnegan is also amazing. Hannah Roberts has been amazing forever. Still is winning the world championships this year. But I gotta say, Paris. And then Angie with the Legend Award at this point because of how long she's been consistently riding at this level and killing it. So I'm going to say Paris. Moving on from there. What's up, Jeff Mead? Moving on from there, we got the videos from this week. First up, the next Footage Friday from Cooper Brown Lee in Australia. Footage Friday number 2 with Jimma. This dude, I mean, this minute and 20 seconds video is like, if you had more B-roll and more second angles of the stuff in here, it could be a full like video part for a DVD. It's that good, and this dude is that good. You just have to watch it to see. He's incredible. I mean, the first clip is amazing. Huge suicide out of that rail ride that was awkward as hell. Look at that rail. That thing has been grinded to nothing. Or it was just wavy from the start. Then you got stuff like Fountain Feeble. It's just really, really good. So then, moving on from there, we've got an introduction of the Nowhere BMX 22-inch frame, which is now available. The Dave Mahoney signature Lucky Charm frame from Nowhere BMX. You can find it on their website, linked in the description of this video, I hope. Nope, Carl, you got to put it in the description so people can get there. But these frames are made by John Quartz, JC Metalworks, and this is a good video. Dan just pretty much gives a bike check, talks about the geometry of the frame with a lot of riding that's probably going to make some people mad because it looked to me like he was riding a dirt lip, but maybe it's a dirt quarter pipe. I mean, it looks like a step up lip. He ice picks it. Hopefully no one got mad. but the frame is sick. And if you want to buy one, you can actually use my code Brant in all caps for a 10% discount, and it helps me out. So on Nowhere's shop. Stony, you are extremely late by 12 whole minutes. Next, we got the first of like 10 different videos that are between 3 and 4 minutes long, and there's probably like 4 or 5 that are almost the same length. We've got Burn Slow with an E, Burn Slow and Etnies Fall 2023 promo. This one features Nina, Chase, Max, and Aaron Ross riding in a DIY, shredding, killing it, and you get a good look at the Etnies Burn Slow colorway. Next, we got Eastern Bikes Iowa Trip 2023. Bunch of shredders in this video. I saw there was a lot of people in this one. Next, Colony Marcel, Gans, Aussie Vacation, German team rider riding in Australia. Burn Slow was crazy good. It was very good. What's up, Tony? Anthony, Tony, whatever you prefer. Next up, Shadow Riding Gear. Dogs on the Loose at Woodward. Amazing video. Gage Sharp in here, killing it. Jamie Thayer in here, killing it. Jaden, killing it. Brian Fox, killing it. Jake Ruckowitz, killing it. And Dylan Thayer behind the lens, killing it. This is an awesome video. Definitely recommend watching this one. And it's 3 minutes, 47 seconds. Pay attention to that length. There's like 5 videos within 5 or 6 seconds of that. Yeah, good video, worth watching. Then we've got new recruit Caden Stone. This one is exactly 3 minutes, 47 seconds. Caden Stone for Monster Army. Video with him shredding. This kid is a savage. Absolute savage. It will not be long before he's on the normal monster team. He won silver at X Games with a 1440 in Dirtback's trick. Next up, a video with Colin Verniak cruising Barcelona for Adidas 510. This one starts out with Colin kind of chit-chatting to the camera a bit and telling a little bit of the story, and then absolutely killing it. This is wild. This is like a 45-degree bend in this rail, and he hops over it to flat on a pretty big drop. Definitely worth checking out. Then we got Joe Jarvis Ask Who Cares. This is another edit. Oops, I forgot to look at the length. Look, 352, 5 seconds. Next up, Joe Jarvis Ask Who Cares. 355, so within 10 seconds. It's like 4 so far. Joe Jarvis kills it. He, very good rider. Hyped for Cornucket. Sounds like a massacre with all the killing. I know. I feel like one day I'm going to get flagged on YouTube for saying how much BMX riders are killing it. Then we've got one with Colt, with Dan Foley, Touch the Bottom. This video, all right, if I picked one video for you to watch this week, it probably would be this video with Dan Foley, because it is just beautifully done. From the angles, to the second angles, to the editing, to just the way everything was done. It is a beautifully done video, and that's probably why it has like 13,000 views in a day. And Dan Foley's just amazing. The writing in it is incredible too. 4:39, so we're getting a little bit longer in videos this week, or at this point. But he's riding everything from skate parks to street. Dan Foley does the best, less is more riding. But at the same time, he's adding more to it at the same time. Yeah, it's interesting. Dan Foley kills it. Next, another video from Colt. Greetings from BCN. This one is with Jaime Sintes. Jaime, I'm sorry. I think that's how you pronounce that. And Marcel going to work. These guys' styles lend to each other pretty well, and this is an enjoyable video. Next up, we're getting a little bit longer here. This one's over 5 minutes, just under 5.5. Women's Weekend in the Woods at Caddy Woods from The Bloom, covering Women's Weekend at Caddy Woods, if you didn't get that from the title. Next up, Molar Mix from S&M's Built Different full-length video. So this is Molar and friends riding in that video. It's awesome to see Molar still riding at the level he is. I don't want to say he's old because I don't want him to get mad at me. Awesome to see him riding at the level he is. Then we've got a full-length video that I was actually surprised to see out already. It's the OSS Domino full-length video. The full DVD is up on their YouTube channel. Right under 34 minutes. And there are sections. Come on, there's got to be. Okay, cool. There's a list here. Adam 22, Andy Garcia, Brandon Began, Charles Littlejohn. Stoked to see that. We don't see enough from that guy. Cody Nemeth, Connor Keating, Denham Cox, Eric Lichtenberg, Jake Seeley, Mikey Tyra, Nick Crare. I can't read names today. Pat Frayne, Riley Smith, Biz Jordan, Ryan Mills, Stevie Churchill, and William First. So check that one out if you guys want to watch something that's a little bit longer today, because there's not very many longer videos. There's actually only this one, and the one that's shorter than this is 5 minutes. So if you need something a bit longer, then you're going to have to watch the podcasts from this week, because got nothing else for you of length. This week on Canode Knows, we had Denham Cox on location in the flesh. They need to start waiting a year to put it on YouTube if it made a DVD to sell. It's hard to do that, though, because of the progression of BMX and where people are at, and then just the progression of people's like brains and how fast and how easy it is for people to just forget about something. So you almost are pigeonholed into releasing something quicker just for the sake of getting it out there while people still remember. Next up. Actually, you know what? I will add to that DVD comment. It just makes another case for the digital download thing. Next up, more BMX 46 happened last night with Spencer Forsman. We chatted for 2.5 hours, said we were going to end it probably 4 different times, but chatting with Spencer was rad. I was stoked to get a little bit more insight on him and riding, learn a little bit more about his journey on YouTube. And I don't know, it was just a genuinely good conversation. So take a listen on that one if you guys haven't yet. And on that note, that's the last thing we have to talk about. Should we? Oh, wait, hold on. We've got meception wearing the same shirt from last night because I literally only wore this shirt for the amount of time this podcast took. Oops, that's not what I meant to go to. Yep, that is the last thing that we have to talk about this week. Links are in the description down below to everything that we talked about today in the order that we talked about it. And hopefully we will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.